sometimes you really have to sort of challenge people out of their comfort zones.
You do, and I mean, you know it. You see, my wife works at a bar downtown, and she makes probably close to double the money I make without putting. And she cares. She loves mixology. And I've learned a lot from my wife too. I mean, she's great with flavors.
Yeah.
And she's really jumped on this with me. Like, we make our own bitters here at the house, and she's honest. I hate to say it, but she's probably better than me. She just doesn't have the same knowledge, you know. But that's stuff she could learn.
She's also way prettier than both of us.
She's definitely prettier. But you know, aside from that, I mean, there's guys that bartend down there, and you know, their tips are a lot higher, and all they're doing is slinging drinks with a soda gun in a bottle. So a lot of that comes, and I think a lot of the resistance comes from why work harder. You know, when we're charging $8 for drinks that out in Austin are $12 and $14, but we have to introduce that. I mean, we're the sacrificial lamb bill for this business. Yeah. We have to take that until it catches on, then we can step it up.
And you know, it seems funny to me. I mean, you know, talking about the farm to table movement, which does seem to have. I mean, we're in rural Alabama, and it does seem to have some traction. I mean, it seems
certainly.
It seems like the carryover there into what we're doing into mixology is a direct line. Yeah. But it doesn't seem like, I mean, like you said, I mean, other than Birmingham and here, can you think of anywhere else in
Alabama?
In Alabama, or I mean,
probably Huntsville.
Yeah.
I'm sure some things are going on in Huntsville. Of course, Fairhope, which is a direct, you know, byproduct of us. Nobody's really doing the mixology over there, but there's a couple of places that are doing a few things. Like, you know, the Grand Hotel is famous for its mint juleps. Yeah. It's a drink that dates way back. But like you're saying with the farm to table thing and the whole movement, I guess where this project, maybe, if I'm gathering, it's about the evolution of this and the cultural aspect, maybe, or
it's not really about any one thing yet.
Okay. No, I understand. Well, I'm just trying to see how I can answer your question most concise and best way. But I guess you know, like here, for example, when people come to the bar and they see all our mint and basil growing out back, the reaction is so much different than when we just pull it out of the cooler or out of a package. You know, they say, "Are y'all growing that?" Yeah, we're growing it. It's not rocket science, but we're growing it. Why not take that extra step?
Yeah, and it does. I mean, there's a sales component to it too. I mean,
precisely.
I mean, it's, you know, and that's one of the things that, you know, one of the things we've been talking about in this class is, you know, in terms of like foodways and artisanal craft. I mean, there's aesthetic value and, you know, and authenticity and things like that. But there's also, I mean, there's also commercial product to it. It's also, you know, in some of these cases, a job.
Well, I think that's one of the problems. Now you have these celebrity mixologists, which to me is just, I guess, you know, people are good at what they do. Notoriety should be there, you know, like celebrity chefs and all. But you've got guys now that are taking themselves so seriously, and in the end, we're making drinks. Yeah. You know, and these guys are taking it so seriously that A, they can't take criticism, but B, they expect praise for the littlest thing. It's like, it's a good cocktail. Actually, it's a great cocktail. But I don't expect, you know, for us to make a drink and someone to say, "Oh my God, you've changed my life." It's like, come on, guys. It's, you know, this is fun. It's like I said, the hilarity of wine snobs. Yeah. You're drinking. You're going to take it seriously. It's time to step out of that day-to-day mask that you're putting on, and you know, let's have fun. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But yeah, the farm to table movement. That's another thing. If this helps. That I learned has always been a component in cocktails. In the old days, before refrigeration and things like that, a direct result of what kind of cocktails are being produced were the geography and what was available. So like in the country style inns and places like that, more rural pubs, they had a lot of dairy and egg based cocktails. Your cobblers and flips and things like that were really popular in those places, whereas you know, well, I guess your cobblers were also popular in the city, but in the more metropolitan areas where they had, they didn't have a lot of access to eggs and milk as much as in the country, but they had ready access to lemons and limes and citrus and things like that. Whereas in the country, they rarely saw a lemon, you know, until somebody brought them, you know. Now, when I say this, I'm talking about the 1800s, you know, in the 1900s, the early days of it. So you had, even back then, the mint julep. The Virginians were drinking that, mixing it with mint, and that's just an old trick to tone down the acidity and the bitterness of medicine. Well, they started realizing they could do that with their whiskey, which necessity's a mother of invention. That's why a lot of these cocktails were created. It's because of bathtub gin and, you know, white lightning and bad whiskey. So, figure how much better can it be if you actually use a good spirit?
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, I think that gives us some enough probably biographical data to work with from here. Unless there's anything else you want to record for posterity in this first interview.
Nothing I can think of. I guess.
Read from your manifesto.
Hey, like I told you before, my mom taught me to drink scotch when I was 18, so that when I went to college, I wouldn't be an idiot and take shots and chug beers. She taught me to drink scotch on the rocks to keep me out of trouble.
Yeah,
which is funny, kind of paradoxical in a way, but it made sense when I understood.
Yeah.
And I would go out and see my friends driving off the road and, you know, doing stupid things, and I would just have my scotch and rocks. At 21.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't know a good scotch, but
yeah,
nevertheless, there was that, and yeah, that's it. You know.